So mine is probably the third New Zealand accent you've heard this evening, so maybe the future lies on the other side of the world. In much of the literature on continuous professional development, there's a focus on the teacher developing skills and knowledge over time. So often they're getting this knowledge and skills from books, as Scott has said, or they're going to seminars, or they're reading stuff online or whatever. But there might also be a context where there's a teacher trainer, a teacher educator, or an academic manager who kind of mentors the teacher as part of their continuous professional development. So that to me is a fairly sort of typical scenario. The thing that I've noted and often have felt is that the learners, to some degree, are kind of left out of this process. And their views are not always referred to or reported on in the discussion of teachers' continuous professional development. But I think that learners have actually got some quite good ideas about learning. If you talk to them, they actually have got some interesting stuff to say. And they've also got some very clear ideas on how teachers can deliver effective lessons. So I think that the voice of the learners is a really valuable tool in professional development. So I think that learners' increased participation in teacher learning would be a beneficial future development in continuous professional development. So what I mean here is that, for example, teachers could seek direct feedback from learners on their lesson. When observations are set up, the observer and the teacher and the learners could actually have a conversation together, and we could get the learner's perspective on the lesson. But then also action research projects could be set up in which learners are involved in the kind of getting their feedback and evaluation. To some degree, this is already happening. Judith Hanks, her work on exploratory practice, and Peter Dudley, his lesson study, they've both written on this kind of professional development. And what they're focusing on is that they want to get teachers away from thinking about their performance and more on the actual learning, what's happening for students in the classroom. So it's less on what the teacher's doing, their delivery, their performance, and more on student learning. Another thing is in the January edition of the ELTJ, there was an article by Emily Edwards and Anne Burns, and they were reporting on the sustainability of professional development in a nationwide program that was delivered in Australia, so on my side of the world. And one of the interesting things is that one of the 4 key impacts that they noted was a stronger connection, this is for the teachers, the key impacts for the teachers in the study, was a stronger connection with learners' needs and perspectives. And I think there's a difference between a need and a perspective. So I think that that's interesting. So that's it. In summary, that's my prediction for the future of continuous professional development, that the learners are included far more in the process. Thanks for listening.